Hey, hon, I slept in the basement so I wouldn't wake you.
Uh-huh.
Okay, where's Brady? I want to hear about the game.
Well, the other team was kind of, physical.
Yeah?
So I'll let him tell you. Very busy day. I've got 3 showings and 1 confirmed sale. And, oh, Brady stole your coffee. You're gonna have to make some more.
Brady had...
Hutch, you're bleeding.
Okay, ready to go. Let's go.
Hello and welcome. Welcome and hello. This is Wait, You Haven't Seen? That's a show where we talk about movies, and specifically, we talk about a movie at least one of us had never seen before. I am your host, Travis, a.k.a. TV's Travis. This is episode number 378. And our film this week from 2025, it's Nobody 2. And here to talk with me about it, because he hadn't seen it and he really wanted to, it is Searanex. Searanex, how you doing?
Doing good. We ran out of wicks, so I had to go to something close to it.
Wick-like.
This was close. So
Yeah, we had to go wickish. And
ish.
so all right. We've watched on this show 3 of the 4 John Wick films we've talked about. I had talked about Nobody a while back with someone else. So what is your history with the Nobody movies, this one and its predecessor?
I've watched both of them.
Okay.
That's about the extent.
I'm going to go out on a limb and guess
the first
that you
one
didn't see either in the theater.
No, I haven't seen either of them in the theaters. I did watch them both on streaming. The first one came out like in the whole like wake of John Wick.
Yep.
And everything kind of continuing on with that kind of theme of like Wick and Taken and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And really enjoyed the first one. Not as good. I wouldn't say it's as good as John Wick, but it was still an entertaining movie. Still
Sure.
lots of fun. And I've been wanting to watch Nobody 2 for a while now. Like when they did start showing it in the theater, I thought, okay, the first one looked pretty good. This one looks kind of interesting. I like the concept of the hitman or assassin on vacation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I really did want to watch it. But I just didn't get to the theaters in time, and then it took forever to get like on a streaming service I actually had.
Did kind of feel that
And
way,
then
didn't it?
it's like I think a couple months ago I finally saw it on Netflix, and it's like, okay, now is the time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So Nobody came out. I remember seeing a trailer for it and thinking, "Oh, that's kind of a cool idea." I love because I am a big time Bob Odenkirk fan. I've loved him since back in the days of Mr. Show, and I remember Run Ronnie Run. If you've ever seen that, he's great in that. There's he's got an English accent throughout the movie, and then his big secret, his big shame that he's holding is that he was born without an accent. It's this really dumb comedy, but he's hilarious in that. I've loved him for a long time. So I saw this trailer for Nobody, and I was like, well, that's kind of cool. And then it was 2021 when it came out, and it was just starting to like go back to theaters, and I didn't get to see that one. But then I caught it on one of the streaming services because I also very much enjoyed John Wick.
Yeah.
And I absolutely loved it because Nobody was very much in the wake of John Wick, the wake of Wick. It was, and there's a lot of connective tissue there, written by the same guy. Derek Kolstad wrote Nobody, and he wrote the first John Wick. I think he wrote the first 2 or 3 John Wicks, and he's given character credits now for all of them that come out. And Nobody was produced or partially produced by David Leitch, who had co-directed the first John Wick film, and all of that. So there was a lot of connective tissue there. And what I liked about it was similar, but it had its differences. It was a reluctant hero, but he was a reluctant hero in a completely different way. And I enjoyed that about that first movie, where John Wick John Wick doesn't want to get back into the game because he got himself out of it, and he had set up and started having, his new life, and then that was all taken away from him. And now he reluctantly had to go back into being John Wick and being the Baba Yaga. And the flip side of that is Hutch in Nobody desperately wants any excuse to just start beating on people and going back to that life because he gave it all up for a family.
Yeah.
And he gets to.
But it's not out of his blood yet.
No, it is not.
It's like I still remember, like, going back to the first one a little bit. I still remember that one bus scene where he's like, when God shuts one door, he opens another, and it's like, I really hope he opens that door because you could tell he wanted to just beat the shit out of someone. Sorry.
No, he absolutely did. And that bus fight in the first Nobody is one of my favorite action sequences of the last 15 years. Easily. If not kind of an all-timer. Because, number one, Bob Odenkirk, who again, not an action star, right? This is similar to like a Liam Neeson doing Taken later in his career, but even, I think, more to an extreme because Odenkirk is known as a comedian first. Got himself into incredible shape, really put in the work because he wanted to be on screen for all of this. He didn't want to have to sub out for a stuntman too much. And he very rarely did. He did a lot of that work himself. And then the way they framed everything and shot that whole bus sequence and the sequence of events in it is just awesome. So that is an all-timer. So all that to say, I love Nobody. And then I saw, a trailer for Nobody 2. All right, we can play in this sandbox again. I'm down for it. I still like Bob Odenkirk. I love Christopher Lloyd. I was curious with the way the first movie ended, how they were going to continue the story. And so I did go see Nobody 2 in the theater last year. It came out. I went and saw it. What I will say for me, I think before I give my take on the movie, I'm curious your take after watching Nobody and then watching Nobody 2 and now seeing it for the first time. What did you think of Nobody 2?
I mean, it was entertaining, but it was... I don't think it compared to the first one. I was surprised how short it was. I don't recall how long the first one was, but yeah, Nobody 2 is only an hour and 29 minutes.
And first movie is an hour 32, so they're right about the same length.
Okay. So yeah, it just kind of felt short to me. But it was, I mean, I can't really go into much detail other than I thought it was an entertaining action movie. Do I think it's particularly strong enough for to continue a franchise after this? Maybe not. I don't know. I mean, I think that while entertaining, it also is kind of forgettable. I don't think this is going to be particularly a movie that's going to stick with me and say, this was a fantastic movie that I'm going to remember for years afterwards, like in the way that you would for like a John Wick movie. But for the time that I watched, it was entertaining.
Yeah. So Nobody 2 for me, very similar. I don't dislike the movie. I don't hate the movie. I had a good time with it when I saw it in the theater. I had a good time with it rewatching it for the show. But it's lacking. And much like, so John Wick was groundbreaking. John Wick Chapter 2 was very good, but it was a drop off. 3 and 4 picked it back up and really kind of went in a new direction. And I think we're able to expand things. But even Chapter 2 of John Wick still expanded the world and gave us more of the world and went to a few new places and did that. My problem with Nobody 2 is that it basically is Nobody 1 retread with a different coat of paint on it. There's very little different about it. Now, some of that is, I do feel like Derek Kolstad has a formula that he likes to write. And if he is, and also we don't have Chad Stahelski or David Leitch directing this, and the director of the first Nobody, Ilya, let me mispronounce his name here, Ilya Neischuller, couldn't come back. He was going to, but then scheduling conflicts made it so he couldn't. And they had a couple of different directors before finally settling on, or not settling on, but finally hiring an Indonesian director, Timo Tjahjanto.
Okay.
I'm butchering that, and I'm sorry, Timo. I apologize. Who had done a few Indonesian films. This was kind of a first, I think, English language film. And I think that the action of Nobody 2 is very strong. And I think that it's maybe a half step below what Nobody did. And I have a couple of quibbles with it. There was a little bit much in terms of like camera shake in a couple of scenes that I didn't love.
Yeah.
It wasn't quite shaky cam. It wasn't the super zoomed in Paul Greengrass Born Supremacy shaky cam.
Yeah.
But it almost felt like in the editing bay, they added a little camera shake digitally to some shots to like to add some feel of. You do that sometimes for like punch to add weight to a shot, like somebody getting hit, and you'll shake the camera a little bit. And I felt like in the elevator in this movie, and then towards the end there was another fight. They did it just a little bit more than I personally liked. But the action was solid. I think my issue was the story. It's the same story retread with just the barest tease of some really, what could have been really interesting stuff. What the first movie did, Kolstad wrote, I enjoyed because it was Hutch finding himself and realizing this is the life he really wants to lead. He was doing what he wanted.
Yeah.
He gave that up because he thought, grass is greener, right? And he thought going to the other side, and then he realized it's not. And the whole start of the first Nobody is him just trudging through life and hating every minute of it. And the wedge that it drove between him and his wife and him and his kids. His kid thinks he's a weakling, right? He has no respect for his dad at the beginning of the movie, and he's complaining that he doesn't do enough. And by the end of it, he figured out what he needed to do, and he worked, him and his dad and his brother and all that kind of stuff. And we'll get to those family members. And it felt like, okay, we're just going to do the same thing, but now we're going to do it from the side of, now he's working too much and he's not spending enough time with the family.
Yeah.
But it felt like the same conflict over,
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, even so far as to like they did a very similar montage at the beginning of this one where it's like they go through like similar events. Although I think in the first one they even went so far as to like they used the exact same scenes for the montage for each day. I thought that was kind of cool. They do a very similar thing with this. Like, it is different scenes, but it's all like the same types of actions for like they go through like a full week of him doing the same kinds of stuff where it's like, okay, he wakes up before dawn, he's gone all day, he constantly has to text his wife saying it's like, oh yeah, I'm not going to be there for dinner, and all this stuff. And I also made a note that it's like apparently the life of an assassin isn't much different than just having a corporate job where you're just up before dawn, back after dinner.
Again, I kind of like that intrigues me, right? Playing with that idea of like the first movie, he's the drone working for his father-in-law at the shop and he just wants something for himself. And now you open the second movie and you parallel a lot of what you did before. That didn't really bother me. And I kind of like diving. I wanted them to dive into that more of like the trudging and the drudgery of, the sameness of this job now. I wake up before dawn. I go out, I shoot a bunch of people, stab a few people. I'm late for dinner. My wife's angry. Like that could have been fun to play with. There's things like that. There's the stuff with him and his son, where in the first movie, the kid's like, Dad, you got to be, come on, these people broke into our house. The kid's got a bunch of pent up rage in him and he wants to let that out. And Hutch is hiding it. And then by the end of the movie, he's letting it out. And now you've got him, he realizes within this movie he can't control it.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want that for his son, but that's never played out. It's never beyond
Yeah.
we're going to talk about this later. You know, you got in a fight after your game, and that's it. And that's a wasted opportunity, in my opinion. Like, they needed to play with that. And the whole, you know, there was a nice parallel with him and the guy Wyatt. Our first introduction to a big bad, which I did like that. I liked, because they go on vacation. So the whole plot of this is Hutch, Mansell, and Becca, they're having friction, and so they decide they're going to do a family vacation. And
friction is putting it lightly.
It is.
When he gets he still can't remember to put the garbage out the night before, so he's doing that. Becca's pulling out of the driveway, and goes to drive away, and is like, they have a little bit of conversation. Like, he's starting to say, it's like, okay, we need to do something together and everything, and it's like she's actually starting to lighten up a little bit towards him. And then he says, like, I just got one assignment tonight, and immediately, anyone who has a significant other, you probably recognize that expression that she made. It's just like the facial expression of, we're doing this all over again. I don't trust you. And she just like, oh, whatever. And like literally drives away with him, like halfway in her window, basically. Friction is putting it lightly at this point in this story.
But he agrees that they need to do something, and so he's going to go do this one assignment and then talk to his boss. And so then we do the nonlinear storytelling, and I do like this. This was a change up from the first movie, which was he shows up at the barber's, played by Colin Salmon, another actor I love, and he's recounting the mission, the assignment that he just went on. And so now we get told about the assignment through flashback. And I liked it because, again, like, we did some flashback stuff, but it was all backstory in the first movie. It was him like flashing back to, the guy Alan. Wait, was it, he's trying to remember the name and he misremembers what gun he had and all that kind of stuff. It was a Walter PP. No, it was an H&K. And they do that again, but now it's him recounting what just happened earlier that day. And I liked that, and that was a really good action sequence. Like, the stuff in the elevator, camera shake aside, was a dope fight. Like, again, close quarters. He did the one-handed field strip of the pistol towards the end of it. That was awesome. Like, that whole thing.
There's one part where the guy, for lack of a better term, the nerd, like, picks up the emergency phone in the elevator, and he just like grabs it, rips it off the cord, and just like bashes it across this one guy's face. I'm wondering if the red that they showed was the phone or the guy's teeth. I can't tell.
It was
one
both.
of the two, though. But yeah, it's just like you said. Like, if there's any one shining thing about this movie, it is the action sequences. I think they did a really good job. And I think that, like you were mentioning, Bob is he's usually known as like a comedic actor. But one thing about being in comedy is the physicality of it.
Yeah,
and
there can be a lot of physicality to comedy. I think a lot of Odenkirk's comedy tended to be more cerebral, more wordplay, and more kind of jokey. But there is that. But he dedicated himself to getting into shape for these parts and learning the martial arts.
Yeah,
and it shows. And it allows you to do, like, again, John Wick did this, where Keanu Reeves going through all the training and doing all of the stunt work means that you get to have, while there is camera shake, it's not super in tight always to hide the lack of ability from your main actor and being able to intercut with your stunt people. You can constantly show him. So all of the shots you see, it's Bob Odenkirk, and it's Bob Odenkirk. But like, I love that sequence. And then I also really like Hutch wanting to take the family to where he went as a kid, because he has happy memories there with his dad and his brother. And it was the one vacation they went on when he was growing up. And he wants to take the family there and make some new memories. And for him, it's I went to Disney as a kid, I want you to go to Disney with me now type of thing. But for him, it's going to Wisconsin Dells, right? Like, we couldn't afford Disney. We couldn't afford Cedar Point. Here's Michigan's adventure,
Yeah. and it's a surprisingly wholesome part of all of this.
Mhm.
And it's like you see like he mentions this place which like out of any other reference, any other context, is like, why would we want to go to this dump? This looks like, about 14 steps below a Six Flags in
Yeah.
like some podunk area or whatever. Uh called Plummerville, not to be confused with Plummerville with a B. It's
Yeah,
Plummer,
right.
yeah, which that was a whole thing in my brain that stuck in my brain too for whatever reason. But yeah, just like, and then he explains like after he shows his family this video,
This
like his
great
really
old
old
commercial.
ad.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, yeah, just this ridiculously old commercial for Plummerville, where the go through all the whole thing, and then everyone there is like, "This is where you want to take us?" Like, really? And then explains like, "Well, this. My dad took me this one vacation that we had.
Mhm.
He took us there."
Yeah.
And so it has that significance to him, and that's a surprisingly wholesome thing for him to want. That is like, I want to make memories for our family in this same place that I had memories with my dad.
It's
And
it's what makes you like Hutch as a character, because he
yeah,
is both the ruthless assassin, but he is also a family man. He loves his wife, he loves his kids, he wants to be there for him. He's trying to figure out how to be. In the first movie,
yeah,
he's dealing with the fact that he wants to be there for them. Like, I mean, what incites the whole first movie is his daughter's kitty cat bracelet being missing. And that sends him
yeah,
off to go find that. And then everything else kind of happens from there. And in this movie, it's I want to make memories with my family. And Becca picking up on that right away and being like, aw. And like the relationship he has with Sam is great. Because at the beginning, there's a little bit of like, she's hitting that tween age. And
yeah,
she's like, oh, my friends are here. And he's kind of feeling left out. But she's immediately latching on to the idea of going to this place. And Brady's the only one that doesn't want to. But mom's like,
yeah,
look, you're going. Like, you're not getting out of
yeah,
this, so deal with it. And he reluctantly
yeah.
does. One thing I'd liked was the original idea was to have them go to something like Venice or somewhere in Europe.
Okay.
And according to trivia, Bob Odenkirk felt that didn't feel right for this blue-collar, working-class, overworked guy. So they came up with this Wild Bill's Majestic Midway and water park in fictional Plummerville, Wisconsin. And he actually Odenkirk said he based it on memories of him as a kid going to Wisconsin Dells, which was a place filled with these little vacation towns for people who can't afford to go to Hawaii or Disneyland or somewhere like that. And Wild Bill was based on an actual guy, Tommy Bartlett, who had a place in Wisconsin Dells for like 50 years. So it's somewhat based in reality, but I loved that because it is that feel, right? It's the type of vacation like my family would have gone on as a kid, because we couldn't afford to go to Disney. It was too far and it was going to be too expensive. But this thing in the Midwest, we could go check out, right? And go camp.
Yeah.
We would camp and do stuff like that. But here it was that old hotel, and everything when they get there is just perfect. It's just this, like, you can tell nothing in that place has changed since the 80s.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just the color of the rooms alone is like just time capsule. Just, of course it's all themed and everything. Like the honeymoon suite all has the fake palm trees and stuff like that. And it's like, I mean, it's wholesome in that, like, he's trying, but it's like, I love that Becca is giving him like the benefit of the doubt and being like very patient with him. Is like, he asks her just like, you don't like it, do you? He's like, no, I'm taking it all in.
She's trying,
It's
bless
like,
her. She wants to, because she wants this for Hutch. And that's the thing, like, the conflict between them sprinkled throughout the movie, but you can tell it's a loving relationship that they want to make it work.
Yeah.
She's trying to meet him halfway, but she's also upset because he can't quite control what's going on. And I also feel like, and I'm curious what you think about this, but I feel like they wanted to expand her character more and play with the character of Becca more and give her more of a backstory, and they just
Yeah.
didn't. And that also bums me out
Yeah.
because Connie Nielsen is amazing, and the little bit that they did with her character was wonderful. Like, all we get is, oh, she can shoot really well
Yeah.
with the rifle.
Yeah. And that's actually one of my notes that I made is like, does Becca have a past too? And it's like they like give those little sprinklings, like you said, like with the like when they do the shooting game in the midway, she is just acing every shot. Later on with another weapon, another gun, she's just impeccable aim and everything. Is like they're alluding that she has some kind of past as well that we haven't explored, but then yeah, they just don't do anything with it.
Even
Which is
down
disappointing.
to she's upset with Hutch at one point because she's like, "What's with the work bag?" Right? There's the black duffel bag. It's his work go bag, which he
Yeah.
has, and absolutely could buy the fact that he would bring that with him on vacation because that's the kind of guy Hutch is. He's gonna be prepared for any situation, and she's upset because she knows this, and she knows this about him, and it's the whole you can't switch it off. And then she opens it up, and it's the wine, but it's not just a bottle of wine; it's the wine from when they met. From the year that
from
they
where
met.
they met and when,
And then the way she softens right away for that. And there's that moment where she says, as they're drinking the wine, "I knew what you were when we met and how dangerous you were." And that tells you so much because it's not like Hutch is just living a dangerous life, like government assassin type character for whatever shady part of the like, way, 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 way deep cover. And so for her to understand that right away, again, it's the kind of thing where I wanted to just explore that more. It's the relationships in this movie that I wanted them to go into that they didn't, with him and Becca, with him and Brady. There's the parallels with we meet the sheriff of the town. By the way, did you recognize the actor playing the sheriff? Because first of all, he's a dick. He's horrible.
Oh yeah.
That character.
Yeah, it actually.
You just want to punch him in the face over and over and over. But who was it?
Yeah.
You know who
What's
that
that?
was? You know who that was?
Colin Hanks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And,
Amazing.
it was funny.
That is some inspired casting to have Colin Hanks, right? America's dad's son is just the worst.
Oh yeah. And it was funny because like I recognized I will admit I recognized him right away that I've seen him somewhere.
Mhm.
Could not remember his name at first, and then I looked through the cast for other characters as well, and I noticed Colin Hanks. And like when they see him in the diner, and that whole encounter was just kind of weird. Because they want to go to the water park. It's closed for an incident, which means I'm sure some kid crapped in the pool.
Yeah, probably.
That's usually what it is. So they get a coupon for hot dogs at a diner or everything. And Hutch is just daydreaming and just looking at this one spot, remembering him and his brother getting their hot dogs with their dad and everything like that. Not realizing that he's staring directly at the sheriff, his name is Abel.
Hutch is a million miles away. Like,
oh yeah, yeah. Apparently, according to Abel, it's not polite to eye the law. So this is like the whole inciting thing with them is like Hutch is already starting off on the bad foot because he was daydreaming while looking at this sheriff apparently.
Which
and then. Yeah, well, there's one other random thing. Concerning Abel. It's like when you actually see him, like later on when you see him with his hat off, the first thing I immediately thought is, what is going on with that haircut?
Oh yeah, no, I had a note about that too. Like the worst
his
thing
sideburns
in this movie
are his sideburns are like above his temples.
I have seen that haircut more and more recently.
Really,
and it's almost. It's like a white guy fade is the only way I can describe it. I don't get it, but I'm just too old to understand it at this point.
Yeah,
But I
Me
saw
too,
that and I
apparently,
was
'cause-
like,
yeah.
what is the worst thing in this movie is Colin Hanks' hair. It's just awful.
Okay, I'm glad I have validation in that.
You do.
Because that was literally the first thing I thought of when they showed him without his head is what is going on with that haircut.
Mhm.
But yeah, he plays a surprisingly good Dick.
Oh yeah, he's just awful. I had a note here too that we had. My note was verbatim. It's shitty townies being shitty. It's like Stephen King levels of ridiculous.
Oh yeah,
Because they have the run in with the sheriff at the hot dog diner because with the water park being closed, coupons for free hot dogs, and then they go to the diner and they get their food and they got coupons for the Midway, and it's like that's how they get you. But then they go to the Midway and they're having fun, and here's the first time Hutch notices the black eye and he's like, hey, we should talk about this, but all that, but like the townies. And then the people working the Midway are awful to the tourists.
oh yeah,
And I don't understand. I kind of get the kid, Max, being like that because
yeah.
as we learn, his dad kind of runs everything and blah, but it's very heavy-handed. But the people working, acting like that immediately it's only there to set up an action sequence. And that again is where that's the failings of this movie are scenes like that, because the action sequence is fine. There's a way to make that build organically instead of just, all of the people here are terrible. And, right down to smacking Sammy on the back of her head as she's walking away for no reason whatsoever. And it's like, well, okay, we just had to get ourselves, we had to move the plot along to get Hutch beating somebody up again because it's been 15 minutes and he hasn't punched anyone.
I mean, I have notes in here for that. It's like, first of all, I actually thought the arcade was pretty awesome.
The arcade was cool.
It looked really cool. But the arcade operator was so close to getting out of this until he smacked Sammy.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like they get outside and then Hutch is like, I think I left my phone in there. And Becca knows immediately.
She knew what that meant.
Stuff's about to go down.
Yep.
It's like, she is much more perceptive than people give her credit for.
Oh yeah.
It's like that's again kind of alludes to maybe she has a past of her own.
Well, there's that, and then in the aftermath of the fight in the Midway, where we're at the police station now, and you've got Hutch and Brady are sitting out there in the hallway while Becca and Sammy are talking to the deputy, and the deputy saying stuff, and then Becca just says straight up like, hey, if you're not getting charged, if you're not going to charge with anything, I don't want to answer any more of your questions, which is a very, very clever thing to say in that moment. It's a very smart thing to say. So again, we're alluding to Becca having some knowledge. She's not just she's a strong character. Yeah. That unfortunately gets pushed to the side a little bit for some other stuff. I think some of it is the runtime, right? An hour and a half. It's a very breezy movie that's paced very well, but some of the character work suffers because of it. And also, it's a little overstuffed because we are half an hour into the movie. I think we're 25 minutes in when we meet who we think is our big bad in Wyatt, played by John Ortiz. And I do like the subversion of we meet the guy who runs the town, and then we find out, he's not really running the town. Yeah. But here's my issue with it. You got Wyatt. And Wyatt and Max. And that's fine. And there's nice parallels there between Wyatt and Max and Hutch and Brady. And it gives Hutch and Wyatt something to come together on that isn't just the common enemy of whoever is running things above him. But Abel as the sheriff. And then, we're also going to introduce yet another villain character, Lendina, played by Sharon Stone, who is a carbon copy, but amped up of our character from the first movie, the Russian mobster. And I I like Sharon Stone. You can tell she was having fun playing this character.
Yeah.
But the character doesn't need to be there at all and drags things down for me quite a bit.
Yeah. I mean, I'm almost wondering if they could have bypassed Wyatt being perceived as the big bad and made him the more reluctant bad earlier on to introduce Lindina earlier. I wonder if that could have helped. But I just think that like having Wyatt being perceived as the big bad early on and then like trying to all of a sudden shift it into, oh no, he's not, it's actually this other person,
Yeah.
Lindina. I it it didn't I don't think it really flowed as well as it could have.
It didn't because, and we'll because they're so parallel, let's compare with the first movie.
Yeah.
So in the first Nobody, the inciting incident that really drives the plot forward, because Hutch goes out looking for the kitty cat necklace or the kitty cat bracelet, reaches the dead end when he confronts the couple and finds out they didn't have it. And he's on his way home, and that's where the bus fight happens. And the bus fight is the true inciting incident of things. And it's a complete, just happens to be this group of this Russian guy and his buddies out being drunk and causing problems. And they picked the wrong bus on the wrong night. And the guy with nothing to lose beats the crap out of them, sends them all to the hospital. And that dude just happens to be the brother of the Russian mobster Yulian. And that kicks in why Hutch suddenly gets mixed in with them. There's an organic nature to how that came about. Is there coincidence to it? Sure, of course. It's a film, but there's at least like a good structure of how we got from A to B to C to get Yulian involved. And Yulian is this very eccentric, runs a club, does a lot of drugs, is dancing and singing on stage, and he also happens to be holding all of the Russian mob's money. And then he gets pissed because Hutch put his brother in a coma, basically. Here, Lindina is doing a bunch of nasty stuff, but we don't meet her till 45 minutes into this hour-and-a-half movie. Yeah. And her only purpose for being there is, I run drugs and money through this little town for reasons, and you've caused me problems. There's no organic part to it. So she just feels like she's been tacked on to the story to make sure we have a big bad that also likes to dance around and sing and be unhinged and over the top. It would have worked better to just have it be a corrupt cop. Let Abel be your guy lording over Wyatt, because you've already got him there. There's a reason for him to be there. You can allude to Abel works for somebody, but let Abel, because it keeps the stakes a little bit closer, and it's not the extra character. Because what ends up happening with Abel is he is there, and then the scene where Hutch goes to the little garage and talks him out of it, and is like, just leave us alone, or I'm going to blow everything up type of thing. And Abel's like, fine, whatever, go. And that's when, he finds out, they kidnapped Max, because he recognizes Max. And I love the shot of Hutch getting into the car, driving off, and then he comes back and we do the trope of mayhem happening off screen where he walks in and you hear everything going on, but you don't get to see any of it until I actually really liked the whole structure of that, because that trope one is a fun one for me. I always loved it. But then when we cut inside, our initial cut inside is inside the van from Max's perspective, viewing the mayhem happening before we finally come out into it. It was really cool. But all of that happens, and when Hutch leaves and he blows everything up, because that's his move, I've noticed. Hutch's move is to just light money on fire.
Although it looked like they alluded to, with his facial expression, they made it look like he did it by accident.
I mean, a little bit, but he also
he also didn't really care. He was probably going to do it anyway, but just like the way that he did it was almost accidental.
Yes. It was one of those like, again, all right. But all that happens and the money gets lit on fire and the explosive go off. And I'm sorry, Abel, dead. Big time dead. All sorts of not alive there, because he did not have enough time to get out of there before that explosion hit. And that building blew the hell up. I mean, Hutch probably shouldn't have survived it in the car outside.
Yeah.
With how
especially
because
like right next to the money that he lit on fire is literally 2 large barrels that says explosive material all over the barrels.
Yeah.
That should have been pretty much explosion roll credits.
But
But
like Abel at that point only then comes back later. And I don't know if you clocked it or not, but like when he shows up at the end and walks up to him and the way they have everything framed, and it's just like, dude's not making it out of this scene. Like he's going to get shot.
No,
absolutely.
Nope.
He's only still in the movie so that he can be shot by the bigger bad. It's the always a bigger fish problem, right?
Yeah.
It's and they went just one step too far. So if I were to rewrite this and redo this movie, I would make Abel be our town's big bad. He's a corrupt cop. You can have him working for somebody, but again, like he's the one running things and he is the one that has Wyatt under his thumb because that relationship's already built in and they already have the antagonistic relationship in the movie. We don't need Lendina and we don't need to step away from our story for 5 minutes to meet Lendina and get the introduction to her and have that only was there to have this unhinged scene of her killing an entire casino full of people so there aren't witnesses, so we know how bad she is. You know what it gave me?
Oh, geez, that was brutal.
That scene was brutal, but you know what Lendina in this movie reminded me of, and I didn't realize it until this second watching. Sharon Stone's character in this is Suicide Squad Joker. If you saw Suicide Squad and you saw Jared Leto's Joker, that's who she is in this movie. Joker didn't need to be in that movie. And you take him out of it and nothing changes about the actual story they're trying to tell. You take Lendina out of this movie, nothing changes about the story that they're telling with Hutch. And we just didn't need her there. And I hate to see an actor like Sharon Stone, who can be super compelling and super interesting on screen, wasted in that way. And so that kind of bugged me a little bit. Because it also took away from being able to, again, the relationships, him and Becca, him and Christopher Lloyd is in the movie, but he doesn't get to do anything. He had so much. He wasn't in a ton of the first movie, but his moments were a lot more fun for me there.
Oh yeah, like I remember from the first one where he was like they came into his house and he was just sitting on the couch or sitting on the chair with the blanket over his lap, and like they start to go after him and he like just a shotgun blast goes out from underneath the blanket and just takes the guy out. Just iconic for his character to develop his character. Yeah, they don't really get into any of that in the second one. Although it was pretty cool of him like later on being able to shoot a Gatling gun, like an actual like
that was cool.
Crank driven Gatling gun. That was pretty cool. But before we get a little bit further down there was one scene that we did kind of skip over that I thought was a good example of like the action that they have in this movie.
Yeah.
Which was the whole duck boat.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
The duck boat. The duck boat is the bus fight of this movie, truthfully.
Yeah.
Like you think it's the elevator, but it's really the duck boat. Yeah. And I loved that.
Yeah. I thought that whole sequence was really well done. Because you have you have a deputy and like just like 4 other random guys that they hired trying to take out Hutch, thinking he's just a tourist.
Yeah. They have no idea who he is.
Yeah, they have no idea what fresh hell is about to befall them as they go after him on this duck boat. And just like you can tell that Hutch he does have this level of situational awareness that is like he goes on the duck boat and is able to like distract them for at least a little bit by the operator comes in, thinking that everyone is just normal customers going on tour and everything like that. And in regards to that the operator, he has like the operator and the other riders have what I refer to in my notes as John Wick levels of obliviousness.
Oh, it's another one of my favorite tropes, which are the magic headphones that block out all sound.
Yeah. I mean, not even all sound. This like it also apparently makes like restricts their peripheral vision to literal nothingness.
Peripheral vision, and they don't feel the boat rocking behind them as, 800 pounds of man is just getting thrown around back there. Oh,
yeah. Because
it's such a silly trope, but I love it. It's like the Amazing Spider-Man had a great version of it with the Stan Lee character in his headphones while Spidey and the Lizard are fighting in the library. Like it is a trope I will never get tired of, as ridiculous as it is.
This is one thing that we will disagree on because every time this is done, it annoys the hell out of me. Oh, because I work, so a little bit of context, I work in a machine shop and I wear earplugs all day. And my hearing is very sensitive, which is why I wear earplugs all day at work. I can, like, even with the earplugs in, I can still hear like a high-low the backup warning beep on the high-low from across the shop.
Mm-hmm.
I can hear like almost everything in the shop with earplugs in. I mean, I blame my ADHD. I'm aware of so many things. Like my peripheral vision is surprisingly wide. So for me, like if I was in that situation, as soon as someone like knocked into anything, I would know immediately and turn around. But that's just me. And for the sake of the movie,
it is possible to get locked in and not notice what's going on around you, but to the level that movies allow that to happen is way over the top.
It's a thing. But yeah, I just was amused by that. It's like, how can you not perceive any of that going on? Because this is not a contained fight. This is all like all over the back of the boat, even outside of the boat.
At one point, he hooks the anchor into a guy's shoulder and then sends him off the boat via the anchor. One of the things I do love is the kind of slapdash nature of the way Hutch fights in using his environment. It's like if you took Jackie Chan and you upped the blood and the aggression level to like a 15, right?
Yeah.
Because he's just using his environment. He's knocking people off of posts. I also did like where the beginning of the duck boat fight mirrors the beginning of the bus fight, where he gets punched in the face, turns around and smacks his head onto something, like face first. It happens to Hutch both times because Hutch, these things happen to him. But the situational awareness. And I liked the one guy grabs the pole and he's hitting people with it. So Hutch takes it and throws it off the boat. It's like, now nobody gets the pole. He's going to level the playing field.
Yeah, the guy like goes to stab him, stabs the safety vest on the other guy, and just goes, "Use your words."
He's trying to de-escalate the situation. It's not working. This is where he gets the tip of his pinky cut off that we saw at the very beginning of the movie. That made me laugh because the fish eating it
eats the pink. And that was the thing is, like, that's another note I have is his first reaction after getting his freaking fingertip cut off isn't recoiling in pain, but trying to catch it before it falls in the water. Like, you can tell this guy's dealt with pain, like a lot. So, I was slightly amused by that because I know that if like that happened to me, I wouldn't care about it. I would be holding on to my finger and screaming probably.
But you're not Hutch. You don't have that.
Yeah. I mean, I've gotten my fair share of cuts from work, but still, it's like getting like that much of your finger cut off.
Tell you, adrenaline is powerful stuff, man.
Yeah.
You can do a lot on nothing but adrenaline. I do love though that fight also had like, again, just like the bus fight, it had 2 stages, and he gets thrown off there, and then he climbs back up, and my note was round 2 fight.
Yeah.
And
then just lays all of them out.
Yep. Hutch is like, I'm done messing around, and he just goes for it. And the anchor is the one. This movie itself is not super memorable. That moment is, because he drives that anchor into the guy's like clavicle, hooks it,
Yeah.
and then releases it. So that anchor pulls the dude off the boat. Like Hutch does not care, and he does not suffer fools. He kills a lot of people. He's I loved it.
So,
but
then we went.
Lindina.
Yeah, we go from the duck boat fight. And then that's when he starts to realize there's something more to this whole town.
Yes.
And then that's when he finds out why that was his only vacation that his dad took them on, is because his dad was on a mission there.
Yeah. Well, it's hilarious because he finds that out. He calls the barber to be like, hey, what do you know about Plummerville? And the barber's like, oh yeah, Plummerville. And he starts telling him all about it. And he's, and he kind of just tells him like, you're on your own with this type of deal. And that's when, I do like him teaming up with Wyatt, and they go after Lindina, and all of that. And Lindina, she gets upset, so she comes after him. We've got the whole Home Alone ending where this time we take what they did in the first movie, which was to set up a bunch of traps and things he buys the machine shop and does all of that, to now we're just going to expand that out to this entire amusement park where they close down the amusement park and get everybody out of it. And again, absolutely ridiculous. There's no way you could pull that off. But at the same time, the guy owns it all.
Not in that little amount of time.
Yeah, but he owns it all. I'll tell you what, the landmine in the ball pit, that's devious. Categorically evil. Like, yeesh. They did the, what was it, surfboards with a bunch of knives sticking out of it that they had set up. Like they did some nasty traps.
The spikes in the water slide.
Oh, yeah.
But one other detail that I think is important for this segment as well is so they have the hotel at the park.
Yep.
They also have a separate cabin, this lodge.
Oh yeah, the lodge.
Which is where Grandpa Lloyd, whatever his actual name is, I don't know. I don't remember.
David.
Okay. That's where he stays. There's one scene where, Becca, Brady, and Sammy are in their motel room, and he comes in, it's like hamburgers and s'mores for dinner tonight and everything. And without having to elaborate, he just tells Becca, is like, yeah, we got to go.
Yep.
And just gets everyone out to the cabin. And the reason that's important is because there's this whole simultaneous scene while Lindina is taking her goons to the water park. Was it Cartouche? I believe his name is. Yeah, Cartouche, which is Daniel Bernhardt.
Yep.
Returning as Chief Goon, which I'm actually, the more I see him, the better. I think he's great as just a kind of a character actor in these kinds of movies. He's in John Wick, Ballerina, and now in this and everything.
What I like about him is it's just this running gag of putting Daniel Bernhardt in movies from 8711 or 87 North and having him play different characters that all die.
Oh yeah, and he dies spectacularly in this.
Well, we're going to get to that because but yeah, I love Daniel Bernhardt.
But yeah, you have the whole simultaneous attacks where Lindina's taken a bunch of the goons to the water park. He takes a smaller group to the cabin because that's where they think that's where the family is and everything like that. He wants to they want to try and make Hutch suffer as much as possible, like killing his family as well as him and everything.
Yes.
For like a brief couple seconds, it's like starts turning into horror movie tropes because one by one the goons start just disappearing into the darkness, and you just hear screaming and stuff, and it gets to the point where he's all alone. Cartouche. Cartouche. Okay.
And I know that because I was a big fan of Stargate, and in Stargate, the stone that fit over top of the gate where it had a cartouche on it.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. Forgive me. I will probably forget immediately still.
That's all right. This is cartouche with a K though, which is even better. It's just such a dumb name to give somebody,
Yeah.
but I love it.
But yeah, it eventually is Harry, Hutch's brother, using a katana versus Cartouche using a machete.
Mhm.
And that was a pretty good sequence.
That was an
Oh.
excellent fight sequence. Now, first of all, before we get into the fight, we haven't said it yet, but Harry, just like in the first movie, Hutch's brother is played by RZA. And
Yep.
I just want to, number one, RZA is great, and he's a big movie fan, and, you know, the Wu-Tang Clan were big into Hong Kong action films and all that. That's where Wu-Tang Clan came from.
Yeah.
And RZA's done a bunch of, you know, B action movies and stuff like this. All I want is to have 5% of the swagger and the coolness of someone like RZA. Just for one day, 5% of it. Because the dude is just cool. And I love this character because he's so like laid back. He was great in the first movie where you only hear him on the radio at first and he's playing trumpet and all of this kind of stuff. And then he shows up at the end. And here he is. He shows up at the end again. And it was great because he has the katana fight with a machete. And he's going through like the first rules or the first forms or all that kind of stuff.
Eighth principle of
Principles, that's
eighth
what it
principle
is.
of the Manzells.
Yes.
Starts off with that, and then it goes through them. Ends up with, you know, the first principle of never bring a machete to a katana fight.
Yep. Oh boy, and what a brutal death for Cartouche, man. He doesn't get decapitated. He just gets like 70% of his head removed.
Yeah, right around jaw level or
Yep.
so. After the katana goes through his gun too.
Yep. Oh,
which was a cool touch.
that was a very cool touch.
I mean, and although that's still not as brutal as we forgot about the saw blade to the face.
Oh, yeah.
During the warehouse. Ugh.
This movie did.
You don't even see anything, but you just hear it, and it's like,
and
that's enough.
The first Nobody was pretty brutal, but this movie really upped the brutality in several places. It's just end of the day. I just wanted there was things missing. Now I have clips. I have clips. We got to play some of these because there's some good ones here. But before I do, was there anything else plot wise or scenes that you wanted to go over and talk about?
I mean, even with like they have another part where they kind of allude to Becca having a past, or at least some knowledge of, you know, some training, because like they get to the point where they've gone through all the goons. We're basically like the mob version of stormtroopers.
Yeah.
These guys, they're just awful.
Yeah, they're just there for body count.
Yeah. Oh, and although the ways that they were killed were kind of spectacular.
They were.
Like the one ride where it hits like three of them and then like goes back and crushes another guy.
Oh yeah, it's the big swinging like pendulum boat thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, they go through all the goons in various bloody fashion and everything. And eventually Lindina comes to, you know, gets Hutch on her own basically. And just the casual stabbing, like when he's being held by the two other women. It's like,
yes.
It's like all you needed to do, like he's being held. All you needed to do was continue stabbing and you would have won. But she didn't because she got bored. Like literally she says, I'm bored with him. Take care of him, and walks away. And then both of them get killed. And then this is where Becca comes back in, shoots her with a tranquilizer gun.
Yep.
Once in the shoulder and then once in the eye.
Yeah.
Which anything eye related is like,
it's always a rough one. And this was another part. So just like Lindina, right? These two, her kind of two underlings.
Yeah.
We've only seen them in one other scene, and they were doing background search on Hutch. Now, there's a great moment in the first movie where somebody that's working for Julian that does all his background searches and stuff calls in a favor with the CIA, finds out who Hutch is, And it's a great scene because she's like doing all this work, and all she does is see that he's nobody. That word pops up on her screen. And this is in the first movie, she literally just packs her stuff up, walks into Julian's office and says, "Never mind, you don't even need to pay me," throws the file at him and just leaves. She's just like, nope's right out of there.
Yeah.
That's kind of who these two are in this movie, except they don't do that. But then we don't see them again until the very end. And they're also super good assassins and fighters, and maybe have some kind of closeness because when one of them gets shot by Wyatt, the other one freaks out. But again, none of this again felt...
None of that was established.
Yeah, I didn't care at all about that. I didn't care about what happened to Lindina. By the way, her and Hutch don't even meet each other until an hour and 15 minutes into this hour and 29-minute movie with credits. You can delay the meeting of two characters until the very end, but in the last 10 minutes of the movie is pretty rough to do for your main bad and your protagonist. So there again, it felt like they just tacked on the character of Lindina.
Yeah.
And all of this.
I think one last thing, like concerning Lindina and like their encounter, I guess if there's any one silver lining for Lindina, it's that the trank to the eye probably means she didn't feel her later complete immolation.
I mean, probably not.
So that if there's any silver lining to get a tranquilizer dart to the eye, that's probably it.
She didn't feel it, but she definitely had to still experience it. So I don't know if that's better or worse. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
I mean, it's brutal.
Anyway,
it's very brutal. But and I do like how the movie does bookend the same as the first movie. The first movie opened up with Bob, with Hutch and the kitten, and the two cops, the two FBI or whomever they're supposed to be, who are you? And then we get the whole story, and then it ends with him in the same spot, and they get the phone call, and he gets to leave. And this one we did the same thing, but with the dog, which again, a little heavy-handed because like the dog is just sort of there to have another animal, although the dog was a good boy because the dog did save Hutch at one point.
True. But I do think that was intentional at the beginning because it is actually a misdirect.
It is. Oh, it absolutely is.
Yeah, because they say like, who are you two?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they only show Hutch and the dog at first. So you're thinking it's like, okay, they're talking about him and the dog. But then they get to the end and it's him, the dog, and Becca.
Yeah. No, I liked that.
There.
I liked that.
Yeah.
And I liked the parallels between this movie and the first one where you have the opening closing of both movies are very similar. The opening of this movie paralleled the first movie and all of that. My issues with it are more story related. Now, clips. Got to play some of these because we got some good ones. So, the funny thing is a lot of what I captured was starting with the recap and that first action sequence of his assignment where he's talking to the barber. So when he walks in, just like the first movie, he walks in and the barber getting a shave, right? A nice straight razor shave, which if you've seen me, I don't shave much anymore. However, when I do go see and get haircut and a beard trim, I do get like my neck done with a straight razor, and there is nothing like the shave of a straight razor. So I do like him walking in and you get...
There you are.
For some reason, Colin Salmon's character just like to say, "There you are," a lot.
Yeah.
And I've just got a series of great moments where Hutch tells him that like, it was a bit different than the briefing.
Looks like your day went long.
It was a bit more big than the prep said it would be.
Which I love how calm he is, where it's like, what we talked about wasn't what happened. And then we get to go into it and we get to learn more about it. And again,
It was a straightforward snatch, Hutch.
It started as a straightforward snatch.
he's just so done.
Oh yeah.
He's just like, oh. And you know what? I feel you, Hutch. I feel that in my soul. And so then we get the whole elevator fight, and it's an awesome fight. And then we cut back
Yeah.
to the two of them sitting across from each other again.
Right. Straightforward snatch.
Yeah. Until the Corsicans showed up with Uzis.
Again, this part of the movie is really good because it's doing what the Wick franchise and what the first Nobody does really well, and what a good kind of action movie world building will do, which is that one line there, until the Corsicans showed up with Uzis. And that's it. That's all you get.
Yeah.
But it's like, hold on, wait a minute. The what? With who? Hold on. And I loved that. And it was
Corsicans, huh?
With MP7s.
because Hutch can't ever remember the right gun
Yeah.
with Uzis. No, wait. It was MP7s.
Yeah.
I loved all that. And then we get another action sequence. And this one's pretty quick, but it was, again, just very, very good, including him grabbing like the compressed air canister and chucking it down the hall and exploding. Takes out the Corsicans. So the Corsicans are done. But then...
But wait, there's more.
Brazilians.
Yeah.
With machetes.
The sharp kind.
as opposed to the unsharp kind of machete that I frequently run into. That one I liked because we just, again, the way the structure of that whole exchange is going on. The first time it's Hutch saying, yeah, except for the Corsicans with Uzis. This time around, we just get the flashback and then the barber saying Brazilians. So now he's filling in that blank for us. And this wonderful exchange.
Oh, my.
Yeah. Oh, my.
It's just so good.
Oh,
It's so good. I loved that first 15 minutes of this movie is so solid.
yeah.
And I wish that the story had unfolded in a way to really pay off the beginning of it and what they did in the first movie.
Yeah, that really was kind of like that was a really good opening to the movie.
Yeah.
Just kind of going through that whole situation.
Act 1 of this is super solid.
Yeah.
And I really think Act 1 and even Act 2, to an extent, very solid. Everything when they get to Plummerville and the first bits at Plummerville are. It's really the setting up of the final act and then the way it all plays out that I feel like they just could have done better. And it could have.
Yeah.
Sequels tend to usually get a little bit longer than the first movie. And I think you don't have to necessarily make this longer. And even if it's only like 10 minutes, if this is an hour and 40, but you get a little more character work and dive into this world and expand the world more. That's the problem, is the world never got any bigger in this movie.
Yeah.
From the first movie.
Other than like physical location, but that's doesn't really matter much.
Like the square footage of the final battle is larger, but it's the same final battle that we saw
pretty much
before.
Yeah.
So, there is that. You mentioned this one. This was a great moment in the hotel room. This is when Christopher Lloyd shows up with hamburgers and s'mores. I love Christopher Lloyd. I love him so much. I wish he had been in this more. He's getting up there now. I did.
Yeah.
It was fun this is the first time I've seen the movie since I was at Dragon Con last year, where I was waiting outside when he pulled up to come into Dragon Con. So he got out of the car and waved to everybody and walked right past me on his way in, which was a lot of fun. That was when I was waiting for the Simon Pegg panel Q&A. But this exchange with him, and this is, again, somewhat alluding to Becca knows a lot more.
You talked to Hutch?
Talk later. Gotta move.
Gotta move.
Yeah.
And like she that's all she has to hear. She knows, shit's gone down. We're heading to the lodge. We're gonna hole up there.
Oh yeah.
And I like them. It is a narrative way to get the family out of harm's way and get them out of the hotel and get them to the lodge. Then they don't do anything with them, is my other problem.
Yeah.
They're just there. And that's a bummer. That's where a little more runtime and a little more time focused on them would have been really good. A little more time with because I think the stuff they started to touch on with Brady was interesting. Never went anywhere. The stuff they touched on with Becca, interesting. Never went anywhere. Give me more of him and his dad. Because there's that moment where, you know, he's trying to talk about, like, I want my kids to be better than me and all that. And Dave, you know, Christopher Lloyd's character is like, you boys are the improved version of me. Like, it's a touching moment, but I want more interaction with the family. So there is that. I loved this moment. And here again, this is them touching on stuff with Becca they needed to follow through with.
You were a lot of things. But most of all, you were a dad. And you're my guy. So go fix that shit.
Like, she doesn't take anything from anybody. And I loved right before that where she tells Hutch, like, you don't get to tell me what to do. Yeah. And because him trying to be like, you need to get away from me. It'll be safer. I'm not asking. And she's like, you don't tell me what to do. She's not leaving him. She knows what she got into. And that's the stuff that I wanted them to explore more. From a character standpoint, I thought would have been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Look, you gotta be cool like RZA to say something like this and have it work.
What's up, nephew?
Like, I have never known an uncle to address their nephew like that. But I think it's really cool. It's just, what's up, nephew? I loved it. I loved it so much. But again, I just want 5% of that. Just 5% of that swagger. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all.
I think that could also be taken as like he was a potential censorship of something else.
I mean,
but
could be, but at the same time, like, I love that because it makes me wonder, has Brady ever actually been introduced to Harry before? Does he know him? Or not?
Yeah.
Because the first movie we don't know, and I have no idea if in between there has been any interaction. Like, he knows his grandpa, but I don't know if he knows Harry. So I loved that. That was a fun interaction and just a great line delivery. I also liked.
All we had to eat was hot dogs and s'mores. That's probably why I'm a vegan.
Look, there are a lot of reasons to be vegan. Hot dogs and s'mores ain't it? Like, that sounds like a really good 2 days.
Yeah, that would, well, I'd probably regret it afterwards, but that sounds like a great time, actually.
No, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
I would absolutely be fine with that. You got Colin Hanks. I only have a couple of his because he's not in the movie enough. And that's my other problem, right? Abel is such a better character and a better bad guy than Lindina. Because Lindina is just Julian 2.0 trying to take Julian and redo it, but more. Yeah. And we've done that. We've done that dance. Don't give me that. Give me the trope of the corrupt sheriff in the small town. I would have had less of an issue with that. But plus, just letting Colin Hanks do what he was doing in this movie.
Sheriff.
You can just call me Abel.
Sheriff.
That moment's great because that's Lindina just like dismissive of him. But I like him being like, you can just call me Abel. It's fine. And then this is him in Hutch.
Did I do something wrong?
I don't know. Did you?
Did you? Like, he is immediately antagonistic with him for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah, it was literally just like Hutch was just looking in that general direction, and that was enough.
Yep.
For whatever reason.
Wyatt, John Ortiz. I like John Ortiz. I like him a lot. And Wyatt does have some fun in this. I loved.
Name's Wyatt Martin. I run this town.
Do you, though? As we've learned, that was determined to be a lie.
Yeah. And, like, I think it's interesting for his character as well that it's like, you find out he's not really bad, but he needs to look like it at times.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of get a sense of that in that scene because, like, he kind of tries to lay down the law and everything like that, but then relents like immediately when Hutch says like, "Hey, slapped my daughter in the back of the head. What would have you done?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Let him out," basically. So there, you can tell there's a little bit of something with this kid, like he's trying to act bad, but not necessarily is bad. And then how Abel immediately just counteracts what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
Like what Wyatt told him to do.
Which again,
I kind of like that.
Yeah,
where
it
it's like
sets up. It really does set up like a perfect relationship between Wyatt and Abel, and why that should have been the big bad.
Yeah.
And that works so much better because that's already built in. And then we don't have to have the, oh, Lindina killed my dad and she's got me under her thumb. Like, no, you're under the thumb of this shitty, corrupt sheriff who's also not like, he doesn't like you. And that's it. That's all we need. We don't need anything more than that.
Agreed.
But it did give us two good exchanges, though. I did like this with him and Lindina when she calls him.
Aw, by my calculations, the debt will never be paid off.
That's bullshit and you know it. Ain't nothing funny about what I said.
And I like that moment because, like, he is dead serious. It also gave us... because I capture laughs. It's what I do. So there was that. But I loved his reaction to it immediately. He's like, there's nothing funny about what I just said, because he wants out. And so they kind of took Yulian and split him into these two characters, because that was part of Yulian's story in the first movie, was he didn't want the Obshak. He didn't want all of the Russians' money, and he wanted out of that. But, you know, there's that. I also loved, this was just great with him and Hutch, when Hutch comes to him with like, Max is fine. After they have a spat, right, and they're fighting, he's like, he's going at him with the bat, and he goes at him with the antlers and all that. And he tells him, like, you know, Max is safe, don't worry. But then I loved,
You burned all of it?
Yep.
You burned the money.
And whatever was in those chemical barrels, they exploded.
You burned all of it?
he just can't wrap his head around it.
Yeah.
All of it? Really? It's Hutch's move, right? If somebody upsets him, burn their money.
Apparently. I mean, I'll never have to worry about that, but you know, there's, you know,
you're
it's
safe from Hutch.
Yeah.
This was the other one again, Lindina. This moment here.
Does nobody play by the rules anymore?
She doesn't play by the rules. So it's super ironic for her to get upset about people not playing by the rules, even though the not playing by the rules is just Hutch doing something.
Yeah.
Like,
because the rules, quote unquote, or he's a tourist.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's supposed to be just there on vacation, and ends up destroying literally everything.
Yeah. When it comes down to it, nobody in 2021 is a really solid movie. I rewatched it last night in preparation for tonight's show, and rewatching it, there's so much about it that I really liked, that was fresh, and it's got the obvious DNA of John Wick in it, and it's in that sphere, but it did its own thing, and I really enjoyed that. And my problem with Nobody 2 is it's too much retread of the first movie's story beats and too little expansion on the story. We don't learn, at the end of this movie, we don't learn anything new about Hutch. We don't learn anything new about his family, and we don't learn anything new about what he does. And that's the problem.
Yeah.
There was an arc in the first movie. Hutch in that first movie goes from A to B to C, right? And he has growth. And in this movie, they wanted to have that with the whole speech of, I don't know how to control this, and him not being, you know, being a bit of a workaholic and not being able to de-escalate a situation, but not enough to have an arc. And then the hints at things like Becca and whatnot. But we don't learn, we know nothing new about his dad and what he did. We know nothing new about Harry, other than he's playing a new musical instrument. So that's my biggest problem with it. It was just too much of the same thing when they could have really gone in a new direction or really expanded things. And that's what ultimately Stahelski and Keanu Reeves did with the John Wick franchise. Was they kept the circle kept growing in that, and they brought in a little bit more each time, but they didn't overdo it. This brought in more, but in the wrong ways.
Yeah, it to me, like trying to think of a quick analogy, it's almost like the difference between, like when you're playing D&D, it's almost the difference between having like a cohesive campaign versus having a series of adventures.
Yes.
This kind of felt like, oh, this is another adventure, but it's not advancing any kind of story. It's just them in a different situation.
Yeah.
When there's a place for that, but there still needs to be some kind of arc. Still needs to be like you were saying. There still needs to be new information gained on the characters, and yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of that. I mean, like we've been saying, the action sequences were really fun.
Oh,
they
yeah.
were really well done. They were really cool, like what they did in those scenes. But for the story, it was just lacking.
Yeah, I think if you rate movies on a scale of 10, let's say, I think that nobody is somewhere in that 7-8 range. It's really solid. It's really well done. This falls a step below that. This is in that 6 range, that 6.5 range. It's enjoyable when it's hitting its mark. It's similar to, for me, like Ballerina. Ballerina had those really good points, right? The highs were very high in Ballerina, but the lows were really low. The story stuff in Ballerina, when it didn't work, just didn't work. Similar here. When it worked, when it was doing the action, the duck boat fight, the elevator fight, the whole action sequence at the end is really, well staged and looks great and it's brutal. But story-wise, it's leaving something to be desired. And the problem with it is that I know that Bob Odenkirk is capable of helping to write. And I think maybe he didn't, I don't know how much input he had on script. With this, because I know Kolstad is credited as the writer for it. And I think too is a little bit of Kolstad does a lot of very similar stories. And I would like to see that branch out a little bit more. I'd like to see some other voices get in there and just give us more of Hutch in his family life and what he's doing with that family, because that's compelling. I want to know, okay, Brady, why is Brady so angry all the time? And how is Hutch dealing with that while also having all of that anger inside him? How did Becca know any of this stuff about him? What did she do prior to meeting Hutch? And that she gave up, and why is she able to have given that up, but understand what's going on with him? So there's really cool stuff there that they didn't do. I think you spend more time with the characters. You cut Lindina from this and you make it about an hour 45. We've got a really cool movie here. Because I love the idea too. I love the idea of Hutch wanting to take his family somewhere that was meant something to him and make those good memories with his family that he had from growing up. That's really cool. That, again, just kind of lip service is paid to it.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, like when I first saw the advertisements for Nobody 2, I thought it was a really cool concept. It's like, going on a vacation, actually trying to get back with his family, because that's the thing is, like, this was like all of the events that happened in Plummerville, that was not what he had planned. He legitimately was trying to just plan a good family vacation.
Yeah.
And then just all of this stuff happened kind of around him and he was involved with. So I thought that was a really cool concept, but I agree that I'm imagining it now with Abel as that big bad at the end of at least. But that's another thing is, if they had Abel as the big bad for this segment, they could have gone further with another movie later on. So it's like, well, now we know that he's not the big bad. There is
Sure,
another step
absolutely.
above him, and then they could have gone even further with that. But by adding Lindina, oh yeah, it's just kind of a step too far. I definitely agree with you. They could have done a lot more with Abel being the big bad, with maybe adding in like, pick like one thing, pick like, okay, Hutch's relationship with Brady, or going back into like Becca's backstory, and to like pick one of those at least and expand on it.
Yeah.
I definitely think it would have been a better film for it.
Yeah, and you save somebody like Lendina, although you do a different character or a different version of that, but you save that for the next movie. It's similar again, and I know we're beating the dead horse here, but like John Wick had the Russian mobster, and then it was, oh, by the way, there's also the high table, and there's this, and every time that circle just grew a little bit more. You know, we brought in the Bowery King, and we brought in all of this, and we expanded the world, and here we went from one small circle, and then we just picked that circle up. We moved it over here, and we dropped it down in Plummerville, and we didn't make it any bigger. And that's fine, except that they wanted to make it bigger. They tried to, but it didn't work. So there's things about this movie that I think could work really, really well. I am curious to see more movies from this director, Timo, because I think that his directing style and his visual action storytelling is very good. I would like to see what he can do with a better story to tell. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I do think that if you are a fan of action movies, I think Nobody 2 is fine. But it, like you said it right at the beginning, it's forgettable. There's nothing super memorable about this movie.
Yeah.
It didn't need to exist, and if you're going to do a sequel to Nobody, there's a better way to do it than what this ended up being. And that's not to say I don't know what changed throughout production either. You know, we never know that.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's fine. If you happen to watch it, it's streaming right now on Netflix. It's an hour and a half long, so it's not a huge time commitment. There's things to enjoy. But lower the expectations a little bit.
Yeah, for like a second screen movie, it's fine. It's a enjoyable action movie, but there's not really a whole lot of depth to it.
No, not in the way that like your John Wick franchise can do. It's much closer to Ballerina in that way, which I am hopeful that the John Wick spinoff on about Kane is going to be better, because I love that character. And plus, just put Donnie Yen in a movie, and I'm there.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that. I have hopes for it. But yeah, I mean, Nobody 2 is fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
I think it's more accessible right now than the first movie. I don't know where the first movie happens to be streaming.
Yeah, it's definitely not on Netflix, because I searched for it as well and could not find it on there.
Yeah, I have it on my own Plex server, so that's how I rewatched it. But Searanex, as always, it is a pleasure to chat with you. What have you got going on you want to let people know about that you're doing? I know this weekend you were taking a weekend break from the Part-Time Gamers, but let people know about that.
This at time of the recording, this is July 4th weekend, so we were just taking a break for 4th of July. But yeah, normally Sunday nights, interrupting the last half or so, last couple minutes of Travis's show here, we would be doing Part-Time Gamers. Me, myself, and my co-hosts, September, 9 of 12, and Theo, that one weirdo, talk about a game that can be completed or at least played to satisfaction within a short amount of time, for all us part-time gamers who have full-time lives. That's normally 9:30 Sunday nights. We are currently also in between seasons of Part-Time Adventurers, which Travis was one of our guests in last season. Really had a good time.
That was a ton of fun. We did that on Wednesday nights, and I tell you, I had so much fun playing Wildermyth. It got me. So playing Wildermyth with you in September and Audie got me the bug to finally finish up Baldur's Gate 3. And I've been mainlining some Baldur's Gate 3 because I was just like, this game is awesome and I need my RPG fix. And that has been a lot of fun. But Wildermyth is a ton of fun. Part-Time Adventurers is a great game. Is a great series because it can be similar but also different. And it's a lot. It's fun. So thank you for having me on.
Yeah. Oh, you're very welcome. But yeah, like I said, we are currently kind of in between seasons of Part-Time Adventures, which is, like we were saying, is it's a campaign of a 5-chapter campaign of Wildermyth, which we stream and then record. I'll put the VODs up on my YouTube channel, and yeah, we're trying to secure our guests for the next season, and then we'll go on with another campaign of that. And Wildermyth is such an overlooked game. It really is fantastic, especially if you love like crafting a story around characters. It's so good.
And the fact that the game itself is not voice acted, so as players, it's great for a stream because your players can mess around and do voices, and that can be a lot of fun.
The voices that we've come up with for some characters, though, like
when you can remember
them, I end up forgetting.
Yeah. That's my favorite. My favorite part was always, I don't remember what voice I did for this character, and then somehow do the same voice.
Yep. Because that's the thing, is like me and September are like, our guests are controlling their own one singular character, so they're just the one character for the whole time. But then me and September are voicing everyone else that's involved. So it's like, cool. I have to try to keep track of like 5 different voices, and they all end up sounding exactly the same because I can't remember.
Well, it's the thing, right? If you're a voice actor or doing voice acting, there's one of 2 ways that you do it. You do the Tom Kenny, Hank Azaria, Harry Shearer type of voice acting, where you can't believe it's the same person doing all those voices, or you're like Tim Curry or Mark Hamill, where you've got like 3 voices you can do, and you do those 3 voices all the time. Nothing wrong. Both completely valid forms of voice acting. Just throwing that out there. But like, you fall in one of those 2 camps. And but no, it's a ton of fun.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to see any of the past seasons, they're all up. The VODs are all up on my YouTube channel, at Searanex on YouTube. But yeah, those are kind of the 2 current projects that I have. I have a couple ideas.
Okay.
That I need someone to kick me in the butt and actually start on. But those are the 2 current projects I have going on right now.
I mean, listen, if you need somebody to kick you to start something, I'm really good at starting new things.
I would appreciate it, because I got an idea for a like anti-ADHD like TV show watching podcast.
Okay.
Something like, I have an idea for that. I just haven't gotten it off the ground yet.
Well, we can see about doing something like that. And what's the website, by the way, where they can find the stuff that you're working on?
Yeah, you can find all this stuff if you use the link bit.ly/CI Productions. That'll take you to my website, caffeineinducedproductions.com.
Excellent.
That's where you'll see all of my projects and everything in the links there.
Very, very cool. Now, if you like this discussion, I do this every week, almost without fail. Been doing it since 2019 now, 378 episodes and going strong. And I do it every week. Twitch.tv/TV's Travis for the live stream, typically Sunday nights at 8 p.m. It's sometimes flexible. So check on all the social medias. I'm TV's Travis everywhere, whether it's Blue Sky, Threads, still posting stuff to X and Twitter, although I'm most active on Threads and Blue Sky. I'm even on Mastodon if you want to find me there. You can. It's the same thing everywhere. Yeah. But you can check there, or you can go to tvstravis.com to find feeds to this show, to all the other shows I'm doing, whether it's Lost Luggage, the Lost Rewatch podcast I'm doing with Brian Ibbett, Amy Robinson, and Phil Keating. 24 FPS Presents with Stephen Adams, where we are going right now through martial arts films, because everybody was kung fu fighting. We're I think 2/3 or 3/4 of the way through that season. That was a ton of fun to record and talk about. I love martial arts movies. I've also got the archives of Let's Watch Highlander. Those Were the Days, which is on the summer break, but we'll be back with more Those Were the Days this fall as we hit the fall premiere season. and talk about some classic television. You can find all of that at tvstravis.com. It's got links to the shows. It's got links to the merchandise. If you want my silly logo on a T-shirt or a hat or a coffee mug, I will say the coffee mugs are very nice. I use mine all the time. They're a nice dye sublimated dishwasher safe coffee mug. So if you need one of those, you can also go to wyhs.quicksack.li for a searchable list of every episode of Wait You Haven't Seen. There's stats there so you can see the movies that I have done in the past, where they're streamable, what the upcoming episode is if you want to watch along with us, all that kind of stuff. So you can find that. That is put together by the wonderful Bombats. And it is great. There's also Patreon, patreon.com/WYHS. For as little as $5 a month, which is less than a cup of coffee every month, you can get the show with no ads ever. The show will always be ad-free on Patreon. There's patron exclusive stuff, and my patrons are what lets me do my live episodes, and I love doing them. I was at Nerdtacular 2026 a few weeks ago in Salt Lake City. That was a blast. And I'm going to be at Dragon Con in a couple of months here in Atlanta. That's going to be so much fun. I'm going to be there for Wait You Haven't Seen. I'll tell you right now, I am making people watch Project Alf and talk about it at Dragon Con. And if you don't know what that is, Alf was a wonderful sitcom in the 80s, and they made a TV movie about it in the mid-90s as a follow-up after the show got canceled. And it has Martin Sheen, Miguel Ferrer, and Ray Walston are all in that movie with Alf, and it is phenomenal. So that's what we're talking about at Dragon Con this year. So if you're going to be at Dragon Con, come check out the live version of the show. I'm going to also be on the Botched Blood Feud, all sorts of stuff. And that is stuff that I am able to do because of the generosity of my patrons. So if you like me being able to do those things, if you like the show and you can back it on Patreon, I appreciate it wholeheartedly. If you can't, I understand. And I love that you listen to the show. And I appreciate that more than I can put into words. But yeah, that's where you can find all that stuff. So Sean, thank you so much. This is a blast as always. It had been a while, but we were due. Yeah. We were due to talk about something. I don't know what we're going to talk about next time because we're running out of like Wick-like action.
Yeah,
movies.
I know. I mean, hopefully by next time we'll have some other Wickish thing to talk about. I don't know.
But
there's always talks.
Yeah, there's always things to talk about. That is for sure. But as always, thank you for being here. We'll do this again sometime soon. But until next time, just remember, everybody, to enjoy your movies, take a vacation, actually take a vacation from work, and be excellent to each other.
Okay? You understand? Or do I need to get a fucking translator? I need to get a fucking translator.
Colin Hanks is so good.
Yeah.